strike up.
Hi, this is James Devine with the Music Ed Podcast. Hey, I'd love to send you my free training, 7 tips to save 5 hours this week and every week. If you'd like to receive that, send me an email at jamesthedivine@gmail.com. Also, if your music event needs professional development or speaker, get in touch with me. I'd love to help out. Enjoy the podcast.
Where you get quick and easy tips on how to be a better band teacher.
Hey, this is James Devine with the Music Ed Podcast, and today we're talking about tips 11 through 15 for new directors and old directors too. Number 11, don't smile until Christmas, but not really. That's the old adage. I don't know how to say that word. That's the old advice that people used to give new teachers. We have to wear many hats as a teacher. We're the teacher, of course, the mentor, counselor, even the friend. But friend is going to be low on the list. So what that really means, don't smile until Christmas, is that just make sure that you have your expectations serious and that you're not going to be too easy on the students. But I don't think you should actually not smile. Number 12, feed your soul. I made the mistake in this past January, of not going to my state music conference. I'll put a link to that episode where I talk about that in depth in the show notes. So I won't talk about it now. But go to conferences. Make sure that you even go to some in the summer. Now, I know some people actually don't like going to the ones in summer, and that's okay also. But don't miss your state conference during the school year. That's where you're going to feed your soul. Listen to music, whatever kind of music you like. Make sure that you listen to it. I love to sometimes just put on Yo-Yo Ma, especially his cello suite and some of his other songs. It makes me cry every single time. I'm actually working on playing those on alto sax. Don't make fun of me. I think it'll be a lot of fun to do, even if I don't ever record it, just to try to sound like Yo-Yo Ma does. If you need some music to feed your soul, I'm going to put a link to this in the show notes, but you can also go to jazzysaxman.com and click on where it says free music, and there's about 25 of my songs there if you kind of like smooth jazz. Number 13, record rehearsals regularly. Oh, this is so painful. It is very painful to hear what your group actually sounds like. Now, just a couple of quick tips for where to put the recording device. If you put it in the front of the room, let's say right next to you, then all you're going to do is capture just the flutes, or that's going to be the loudest thing on it. If you put it near the percussion section, all you're going to hear is snare drum. I usually like to put it all the way in the back of the room, and this is where it seems to capture a better blend of what we actually sound like. If you're fortunate enough to be on a stage, you could put it in the back of the auditorium to get an idea of what it really sounds like. It's painful to listen to, but it shows you what you really sound like. You should also record video regularly. You thought you were giving preps in your conducting. When you see the video, you realize, hey, I'm not giving enough of a prep, or I'm not being clear in my conducting. And it's painful because it shows us where our weaknesses are, but it helps us to get to the next level. Number 14, create a punch list. If you've ever had a house built, you know that after you do your inspections, you create some type of list of the things they still need to fix. And the superintendent will get that, the construction superintendent will get that to the different people, the plumber or the roofer or the carpet installer, whoever needs to fix those things. You can do the same thing as you do score study. Now, I've been to seminars where they tell us that they spend 10 to 20 hours a week on score study. That's all great and grand when you teach class on Tuesday and Thursday, the top orchestra or band of your college, and that's your only teaching load, but it's not going to happen for most of us. But don't use that as an excuse because you can't do 10 to 20 hours. You can still do 30 minutes. As you're doing that score study in the 30 minutes, start writing things down and anticipate what's going to happen. Hey, we're going to have a hard time on the entrance at letter A because it comes on the and a beat 4. Write it down. Then you know to work on that. then when I've done that, I've come up with a list of 30 or 40 things. And I use this for when I'm conducting an honor band also. I just anticipate some of the problems that are going to come up. Then after completing this list, record your group, and you can make a new list because you're going to hear new things. There's always going to be things to work on. And I like to check off the items on the list as we complete it. It's okay to do a run through of a song when you're sight reading or when you're in the final days of concert prep and you're getting the students used to going through without stopping. But it's not okay to do a run through because you're not sure what to work on and you're going to listen to them to work on that. So spend 30 minutes to do that. That 30 minutes will give you enough items more than likely to spend several weeks working on the music. Number 15, call parents. Nobody calls these days. People send emails, they post things on websites, and it makes me laugh. I don't mean to laugh, but when I see a new director who says, I sent out 3 emails about this, well, I don't think they realize that the parents are getting so many emails that it just ends up kind of going off of them. But if you call, and I'm not saying you always have to call, but if you call, and not just when there's a problem, this is going to make a big impression on the parents, especially if you just do it at the beginning of the year. I strive every year to call all my parents just to say hello and touch base with them, and so that they have a positive experience from me before there's a problem. I hope that these tips have been helpful. Come back next week for the final 4 tips.
The Music Ed Podcast, where you get quick and easy tips for how to be a better band teacher.